I gathered in his name. He has promised to be there to set their hearts aflame. And right now I sense the nearness of His presence in our midst. What a privilege to feel His presence, and oh, how sweet it is. So sweet is the Spirit when it moves among His people. Hearts are melted, lives are changed, and dreams restored. He brings healing for every heartache. He has a promise for every problem. Just so sweet is the Spirit of the Lord. These very walls cry out
the glory of the Lord. Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to day 5. I hope you are well. Thank you so much for joining us once again this morning. Apologies, we're running a little bit late as the days proceed, as we get back into full swing at work, responsibilities mount, time diminishes, but we keep pressing on, we keep pushing on. Thank you so much for joining us. Wow, good morning, everybody. It's day 5. I don't know, how's it going? How's it going? Are you feeling strong still? Are you managing? By day 7, which is Sabbath, we start to do a bit of a count to say how many of the many days that we've done, how many. So I'm so tempted to ask us to count, how have you been managing to fast from day 1 to now? But I'm happy to say I'm still at it. I have not had a day where I've defaulted, even with the challenges that are now coming up. Anyway, let me not spend too much time talking. I will start today by taking greetings. But before I take the greetings, I'd love to see some likes, some loves on this posting, some tags if you know somebody that stands to benefit. I don't know if you saw the topic of today, push until the walls collapse. All right, pray until the walls collapse. So that's the topic of today. If you know somebody who has got walls that have been standing still, that have been standing solid, that have been standing immovable, an impossibility, perhaps this is the message for them. All right, for you, yes, but for them as well. All right, so tag somebody, hit the like button, share if you do not mind, and go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the nice thing about YouTube, later today, when you've got a moment, you can go back there, copy the link, and share it with somebody. That way, people can always go and listen, which is the same thing that happens when you do a tag. All right, let's quickly take the greetings. And of course, we were outdone by Smith. Good morning, Smith. Thank you so much for joining us. Is it from the west of London? From west of England? All right. DK joining us from Botswana. Good morning, DK. Nontokozo. Good morning. And Pumza, good morning. Dadwe Tuti joining us from Hanover. Day 5 and going strong. Well done, baby girl. Thank you so much. CD joining us from Johannesburg. Zelani from Johannesburg as well. Joburg is in the house this morning. Zanele, good morning. Lesotho is in the house. Mabukang joining us from Maseru. Nomvuyo from Cape Town. Good morning. Johannesburg is in the house. Lesotho is in the house in quite a big way. Let's see. Somebody's joining us from Boksburg this morning. And Horizon is here. Midrand is in the house. Good morning, Joy. Let's see, Tandy joining us from Gqeberha. Okay, now I feel a little bit safe. There's somebody from around. Tembi joining us from Egautini. Eswatini, sorry, Notolo from Primrose. Ladies, good morning. I like the greetings. Please continue to share them. Let's go into the word today because I do not want to waste too much time. I do not waste time because I like what I'm doing. But I ran out of time. You know, we end up starting a little bit late with the Zoom prayer sessions, but I will not be able to continue because it is also my responsibility and my job to share with you what's coming up this year. So if you give me a moment to tell you that in a couple of months' time, from the 23 to the 26th of October, as it has become now customary as the Theatre of Grace community, we have our annual, let me say annual for this year, our annual gathering. There it is. I would like to officially invite you, ladies, to invite you. Bring your friend. By the way, registration is ongoing, right? I say to you, we will close at the end of March. Do not wait for the end of March. Don't wait for the end of March. I think just yesterday, we had about 20 people registered for the conference. So don't wait until the end of March. Register now. And what we've done is the registration fee, which is 1,000 Rand, can be paid over time. All right. So you can pay a portion now, end of Jan, portion end of Feb, and then finish it off end of March. All right. So I'm not saying wait until end of March to register. Register now. All right. Put something small as a commitment to yourself and as a prayer to God to say, I'm going here. And my queen puts it so well. Our Shiloh. Indeed. We go there and we emerge. Of course, I'll say that, but I'm sure many people can come onto this platform and testify of the things that happened to us there. All right. It is my responsibility to share with you that which I found. The message of today is found in the book of Joshua, chapter 6. All right, it is found in the book of Joshua, chapter 6, and the title is what it is. All right, the title is what it is: push, pray till the walls collapse, push till the walls fall down, push, as the song says, till the walls come tumbling down. I'm timid. I'm timid when I think about what these messages have a way of working through you, right? So it worked through me yesterday. It's working through me, and it worked through me even this morning. And this is for those of us, and please let me know in the chats here. For those of us who have an item, a thing that you have coming before God with all these years, to the point where at some point you've stopped praying about it. Whether it is an issue within your family, whether it is an own personal issue that you, when it started, you prayed about it, you fasted about it, you got people to come and pray about it. When it was new, when it was fresh, you attacked it. With energy and with momentum, with belief that it was going to change and it was going to change soon. But for some reason, it did not change. So much so that your prayer about it got less and less energetic, less and less energetic. If you were one of those people that prayed long about something, you prayed less and shorter and shorter and shorter about it. You stopped asking people to pray with you about this matter. And then at some point, you don't even know at what point, but at some point, you just stopped praying about that particular something. If that is you, I'd like to know in the chats, because that is me. I have a situation in my home. I can't start there, but I also have a responsibility to be real with you. I have a situation in my home, in my parents' house. Something that began when my brother passed away. That was 2016. So we are now in 2024. About 8 years later, there's a situation that I am still praying about, and I see some of us have things like that. All right. Where, and at some I stopped praying. One of my big sisters in King Undweza would know. I would come into her house in tatters. She uses the word uzingceba. I would come into the house in tatters. All these years, I have been praying. We have been praying. My mother is 80 years old, and I'm watching her. She's at a point where she is starting to wonder if this is going to change in her lifetime. And I cannot give her the guarantee that it's going to change. But God has said to me, pray. So we are in Joshua chapter 6. And this might be an issue in your family. So that's mine, right? The issue of my brothers. I have got 2 brothers. Intelligent young, I can't start this with tears. Intelligent young men. Brilliant young men. Intelligent. My youngest brother at college, when my brother died, they fell into substance abuse. One is alcohol, one is drugs. We don't even know which one he's taking. He does not even know himself anymore. And when one of the things that happened with my youngest brother, intelligent young man, so much so that when he fell out of college, I've never seen something like that. As the staff, I think 4 or 5 of the Christian staff at that college came to our house to say we cannot lose such talent. They held a prayer vigil to pray, to try, but we are still here. We are still here. But the one thing that I'm holding on to, it's this, and that is that they are still breathing. We're talking about this with my sister. She says, there is something here, and we don't know what it is. But what we do know is that they are still breathing. And because they are still breathing, God has summoned me back to my knees about that matter, about that issue. And so we are in Joshua chapter 6, and I have a sense that I'm not the only one. And he has just come to say to us, pray. You know when Paul says to us, pray without ceasing? Pray without ceasing. It is that we just have to keep bringing the matter before God. In fact, God made a link for me as I was trying to, because I get angry with him. What is the point of coming to you over and over and over about the same matter? My mother in 2022 said to me, I don't even want to hear something which has got a name that sounds like my brother's name. And then God hit me as I was walking with the following, that, you know what? At the rate and in the way in which the lifestyle that my brothers are living is such that they should actually be dead. And my mother said, how do you know? And God said to me, and I had to tell this to Mom, how do you know, Mom Cha Okuti, the reason that they are still standing and still breathing is because of the very same prayers that you are now refusing to stop uttering. The truth of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Steve, welcome Shoba, is that we have no other choice. We have no other place to go to with these matters except to go with God. And so I've learned to say to him, listen, I was here yesterday talking to you about this matter. I am here today talking to you about the same matter. And here's what I'd like to communicate to you about is that I trust no one else with it. I will not go to the Sangomas. I will not go to anybody but you about this matter, because you are the only one that I trust. And then my mother says, my mother's 80. She continues to live in spite of this. She continues to live her life in spite of this. So she says, I've learned the art of Matthew. It's Matthew 11, verse 28. Come unto me, all who labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest. Take my yoke and give me your things. I have learned the art of living it at the foot of the cross every single day and walking forward. Because the mistake we make is we drop it and we go and pick it up, and we drop it and we go and pick it up, and we drop it and we go and pick it up. I've learned the art of dropping it and not picking it up, but I continue to talk to God about it. And she says to me, and I just keep reminding him, dear God, every morning, please check your inbox. Please check your inbox on the matter that I dropped with you about my sons. And I am here to say this morning, I don't know what that matter is for you, Bandana Basakai. I do not know how long you have been praying about it. It is exhausting. But can we just come before God together this week, this day, and ask him and let him know, Father, please check your inbox. Please check your inbox, because there's an item that we have placed before you and we are yet to receive the answer. We are grateful for the fact that you are still in charge. We are grateful for the fact that you are still in control, but we have not got the answers yet. Please check your inbox. But here's the thing about prayer. As long as we pray, we, the people that are praying, are better. But here's something I want to say. 3 things that I want to say. 3 things I want to say about what I've learned with the story of and in Joshua chapter 6. These are the Israelites. We spoke about them the other day. They're about to cross. Remember, God had given them the land. All right. And now they have crossed the river Jordan, and that right in front of them is the city that they are supposed to take. But the problem are the thick, solid, high, seemingly immovable walls of Jericho. And God says to them, I have given you the land. And that is where we are, many of us. I do not know about you. Sometimes you look at it and you look at the person involved. Whether I'm talking about my siblings, it may be something else. And there is nothing in you that thinks that this person is actually going to change. You look at them, you are like, it's only going to take a miracle for something to happen. That is the feeling that the children of Israel had at the bottom of the walls of the city of Jericho. It looked big. It looked majestic. The walls were this thick. I mean, I can't even make the thickness of these walls. The walls were this high. The walls had never been moved. The walls had never been moved. And there is God saying to them, this is the one that I want you to possess. This is the one that I'm going to bring down. They were facing a serious impossibility. But you know what they had in their favor? A God who says nothing is impossible with God. With men, the situation of my brothers looks absolutely and utterly impossible. With men, the situation of the thorn in your flesh that looks absolutely and utterly impossible. With men, the things that we are dealing with look absolutely and utterly impossible. But God has summoned us. March forward. March forward. But here are the things that I picked up in this verse before I run out of time again. Verse 8. Verse 8. Yeah, all of us are in this situation. Verse 8. Verse 8. Verse 10. Verse 20. And I want to stop and end at verse 20. Verse 8. Verse 10. Verse 20. This is Joshua chapter 6. Somebody please capture that. Verse 8. Verse 10. Verse 20. God has reminded us, and God has instructed us to say, remember to do the following. And remember that the answering, the responsibility for the falling down of the walls is God's responsibility. The healing of my brothers is no longer in our hands. It is clearly no longer even in their own hands, but it is in the hands of God. The tumbling down and the falling and the collapsing of the walls of Jericho is no longer in our hands. It is in the hands of God. That which you are dealing with is no longer in your hands, but it is in the hands of God. But God has asked us to do the following. While we wait, He's asked us, He says to the children of Israel, march around the city. March around the city once every day. And then on the 7th day, march around 7 times. When has marching ever done anything? But here's something that I picked up, because I've been also wondering, and the scientist in me was going down the science route, which would explain why the walls have fallen, but it doesn't quite make scientific sense. It's not intense enough for it to cause the walls to fall. Oh Lord, I'm running out of time. Verse 8. I don't know if you ever read it. I'm sure we've read it, but I don't know if you've ever looked at the depth of it. Verse 8, the Bible says, and I'm just going to go to that part, right? They said they were to march, but there's a line in verse 8 that says, and the ark of the Lord's covenant was with them. So you see, that wait, my brothers and my sisters, go back, Smons. Go back to God about that issue, about that big impossibility, about the thick, fat, high walls in your life that look immovable. But do not go to God without the presence of the God. One of the critical items that was important before God as they were about to start the process of marching. March forward, yes, but please ensure that the Ark of the Covenant, which is the Ark of the presence of God, was present with them. It is not the marching that brought the walls down. It is God that brought the walls down. So do not march ahead of God. First, let the Ark of the Covenant, which signifies the presence of God, be present. Guys, we cannot do this without the presence of God. We can't. At some point, we do it. At some point, we do it with our own wisdom. At some point, we do it with our. That is why we tire. Listen to me. March forward. But two, let the Ark of the Lord's covenant be present right there with you. The presence of God. In the presence of God, there is healing. In the presence of God, there are miracles. In the presence of God, the walls tumble down when we do not know. In the presence of God, there is peace. In the presence of God, there is energy. In the presence of God is the Jeremiah who says there is fullness of joy. I do not know when the answer is going to come, but march forward. But let the presence of God prevail every single time that you bring the matter before God. Lord, check your inbox. While you check your inbox, I'm going to chill right here in your presence. It's David who says, do not banish me from your presence. So it was critical for the children of Israel, not only to go around, not only to keep coming to God with the matter, but the Ark of the Lord's covenant had to be present every single time. Day one, they were to march forward, but not without the presence of God. Day two, they were to march forward, but not without the presence of God. And let me tell you, the answers may not be the ones that you want, but the presence of God makes a difference in the very matter that you are praying about. It is the presence of God that accompanies them into the dangerous situations that they find themselves in. Kufonwe kuthiwa uyafunwa ngamaphara because ubile. He has committed a crime. Uyafunwa. And because we continue to pray as sinned, pray, march forward, keep mentioning it, but remember the Ark of the Covenant. Remember the presence of God. Number 2, verse 10. It's now 4:27. Verse 10. Bible. So Joshua gives them the first instruction in the presence of God, the Ark of the Covenant. Secondly, he says to them, do not shout, do not even talk, not a single word from any of you until I tell you to. Not a single word. One of the words that God gives me every now and again is Psalms 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. Now listen to me. The issue here is not for you to keep quiet. I'm going to say something that is counterintuitive, but I'm sharing it as the Spirit brings. Smons and anybody else, myself, beauty. Shh. Be still. Do not shout. Do not talk. But if you are going to speak, listen to me. If you are going to speak, speak in the direction of your prayers. Speak in the direction of your prayers. In other words, if you are asking God to heal your child, if you are asking God to fix your marriage, if you are asking God for this breakthrough, for this promotion, if you are asking God for this, you keep quiet. Because here's what happens. The enemy floods us with negativity about that matter. God, it will never change. He will never change. The children will never come home. The marriages will never be fixed. The job, you will never get the job. Your children will never. He floods us with those thoughts. Now, God has sent me to tell you, do not give those words, those thoughts utterance. Do not speak against that which you are praying for. Speak in the direction of your words. What am I asking? It's very, very difficult because sometimes they will inflict pain on you and you get tempted to say words out of your own mouth that counter that which you are praying for. I often hear from young women that says, Mama, my mother, the way that my mother called me. My mother called me. I was dressed in a short skirt, and my mother said to me, I look like a prostitute. Now I say to the child, Madam, your mother did not mean that. It is pain that caused your mother to say that. So I'm asking you to pray to God to help us, that when we do, to keep quiet about the situation and talk to Him about it. But when we do open our mouth to talk about it, to speak in the direction of our prayers. What is your prayer about your situation? Healing. What is your prayer about your situation? You want to see them thriving. You want to see God answering that prayer. If you are going to speak, particularly to them, speak in that direction. Speak, Dasekai, in the direction of your prayers. If it is your marriage that has been like this for many, many, many years, can I ask you something from now on? Shh. Be still. Be still. Keep quiet about it. And certainly do not utter any of the negative things that the enemy is flooding your mind with. And if you are going to talk, even if it speaks against that which is in your mind, because those thoughts are not always yours, speak in the direction of your prayers. Receive that which you are praying for. Speak in the direction of your prayer. Don't speak against your prayers. And then I want to just say, God has sent me to say, when we go, verse 20. The walls of Jericho collapsed. That's the third thing. 1, the Ark of the Covenant. Pray without ceasing, but in the presence of God. 2, shh. But if you are going to speak, speak in the direction of your prayers. 3, God has sent me here to tell you the walls will collapse. And yours is to pray till the walls collapse. The walls will come down. And yours is to pray till what if they never collapse? God's business. What if they never fall down? God's business. But we have evidence, we have proof over and over and over again of people that we know in our own situations, but proof in the Bible that the walls do come down. One example, go and read it. I think it's Mark chapter 7. Is the demoniac of Gqeberha. I am sure the guy was living in the graves. He was living in the tombs. The guy was living in the tombs until Jesus showed up. Yes, I'm sure the parents had given up. I'm sure the community, he was one of those that we see about Gqeberha. You know, there's a community, there's a group we call the Paras in the Eastern Cape and Western Cape. He was possibly among those that was labeled a para until Jesus showed up. I don't know when the healing will come, but I've got to believe. And that's the only way we are going to continue to pray. Jesus has sent me here this morning, way out of time, to say to someone here, the walls will collapse. The marriages will be fixed. The children will come home. You will find that job. In the meantime, yours is to pray. Yours is to push until the walls collapse. So there's 2 things here. There is the praying, there is the pushing, and there is the collapsing of the walls. Do that which you can control, and you are better off doing it. What can you control? Praying, pushing. What can God control? The tumbling of the walls, the falling down of the walls. Let me leave it here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cross over to the other side and just pray about this situation. May God bless you.